Good morning. It's 9 o'clock, July the 22nd, 2024, and our regular Commissioners Court meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call by our County Clerk, Mary Jane Gavial. Good morning, Mary Jane. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Judge Rathma,
Present.
Commissioner Mendoza,
Present.
Commissioner Morales,
Present.
Commissioner Solis,
Present.
Commissioner Garza.
Present.
We have a quorum, Judge.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Next item is our invocation by Dr. Roger Miller. Dr. Miller, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Would you bow your heads with me this morning as we begin our time together? Our Father who provides rest, we come into your presence this day seeking your hand of guidance in the ever-changing atmosphere of our lives. May we make every effort today to make you the unchanging foundation of our lives. Help us this day to see the decisions made in this court will affect our todays and our tomorrows. So, Father, we need your voice to be heard by our leaders. May you speak today to our leaders as you spoke to the prophet Elijah, gently and quietly in the wind, and not in the earthquake, and not in the fire. May our leaders be receptive to your voice this day as they seek to serve this community. May wisdom be granted for them, may patience be theirs, and may peace come from their efforts to honor you. And we thank you for the hand which both leads and protects. And in Christ's name we humbly ask these things. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioners, item number 4, communications. Anything I'd like to share with the public at this time?
Judge, I would just like to inform the public that we are kind of behind on the grass. It's been overwhelming, and we appreciate the rain. We welcome it with open hands. But with that, as Commissioner Mendoza posted on social media, comes the big amounts of grass. Right now, my precinct is currently at the Bull Ramp area, which is Falcon Lake Estates West and Siesta Shores.
Okay.
So we will try to catch up. We are expecting more rain as the week comes. I believe we have rain expected till Sunday. So just bear with us, be patient with us. So we know the cemetery is overgrown as well. I got some calls about our cemetery here. I know Mr. Morales got some calls about the cemetery over there.
I did as well for the arroyos. They're full of water. How can we get better?
Yeah.
We'll get to it. So just bear with us, have some patience, and we'll take care of it.
And of course, with the tall grass comes the invasion of mosquitoes, unfortunately.
Yes.
It's hard for us to enjoy the outdoors right now during this time, but of course our crews are working diligently to try to catch up, and we'll get there eventually.
I do appreciate Commissioner Precinct 1's crew. I called Alex to help us with the courthouse grounds. I know a regular employee got sick with COVID, I think, last week, so they did show up Friday, Commissioner, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I'll pass it around next time. I'll call Precinct 2. But, at the courthouse, we do need some help from time to time, so I appreciate
So whatever we can do to help. Yes, sir.
Yes.
And we'll take all the rain, because then we'll get these dry periods. I think all of us have noticed that Falcon Lake is still really low, so it hasn't had that much of an impact on the overall reservoir, but it sure has been nice for July not to be 110. We're getting up to 99, 100, but and I think you're right, this week we should expect some more showers Tuesday through Friday.
Correct.
So
We'll be more behind.
yes, and that's fine. I think green grass along the roadways
Makes it look nice.
Yeah.
And of course, the potholes come with it as well. They come with the rain, so we will catch up with that as well.
Domino effect.
Yeah. Thank anything else, Commissioner? Any events upcoming or all right, we'll move on to public comment. This section provides the public the opportunity to address the Commissioner's Court on any item on the agenda. Any members of the public? If not, we'll move on to item number 6, approval of invoices. And in your packet, we had invoices from July the 3rd, 2024 through July the 18th, 2024 for a total of
The total is $787, $832, and 87 cents.
Okay.
Judge. But I also have Ms. Nelly Trevino brought me a last. There was a door broken by our maintenance crews. For $465 to a glass, we would like to add that on there.
Even?
What was the amount?
$465 even, which brings the total up to $788 and $297.87.
Motion to approve the amount of $788,297 with 87
Motion
cents.
by Commissioner Mendoza, second by Commissioner Lee. I did, going through the list, there was a substantial amount for, body armor, and have we gotten reimbursed for that? It's $147,000.
I'm holding on to that check until we get reimbursed.
Okay, so you'll be holding on to it?
Yeah, I'll be holding on to it.
Okay, I appreciate
Yes,
that.
I put a note on there to hold on to it.
All right, 'cause, yeah, I saw that large amount. Do you know what the total cost of the plaza, structure was?
It was
Is that actually with, for the contractor?
Those were the three things. It was $9,000 for all three things. It was the supplies,
Material,
the
labor,
labor, and then the
and
concrete
the
funds.
Okay, and those will be paid out of, just,
We're gonna, I wanna have to let him go over budget on it, but then on his road and bridge, I already talked to
We'll restrict the
Commissioner.
difference.
I restricted him that amount,
okay, all right.
and a little bit more for penalty. on it,
Yeah,
so.
we'll balance out the difference.
Got it, all right, got a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 7, approval of checks issued, and we had July the 3rd, 2024 to July the 18th, and also the amount is gonna be,
The $465, which will make it $788,297.87.
motion by Commissioner Solis to approve.
Second.
By Commissioner Garza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll move on to the action items. We'll deliberate, consider action on item number 8 is to approve payment to K-Fix Consulting in the amount of $30,000 for professional services in relation to the Falcon Best project. Commissioner, this is, for those tax abatement work that, K-Fix Consulting did for us. And we do not submit payment until, as part of the agreement, the companies pay the county the $30,000 fee. We did receive the $30,000 check from Falcon Best, which is a battery storage project that we built in, near Chihuahua. So the $30,000 is in our treasury, so we can now make the payment, to Cape Consulting.
Which is what we did with the last one also.
Yes, we wait for the company to send us the money, and
Yes.
then we go forward it, and, as part of our agreement, with him. So, we got a motion by Commissioner Garza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 9 is to approve the financing of a John Deere Air Core 800 model aerator for the Los Alamos Golf Course. Commissioners, the manager or the management company, Mr. Rene Pina, mentioned to me that, they're having to do the aerating of the greens manually, and it's taking a significant amount of time. And I think aerating the greens is one of the primary, I think, steps you can do to improve the golf course. I say, well, we don't have the funding available to purchase a brand new aerator unless we can receive some type of financing agreement from the company. We did set up an account with this John Deere vendor, and basically we could, I think if the court approves it and we purchase the machine, basically it's a $580 payment, I believe.
58205.
58205, so it's about $6,000, a little over $7,000 a year. We do have that budgeted on a yearly basis, so we could afford this machine if we paid it on a yearly basis. It's up to the court if we wanna, try to finance this machine.
I think we need to continue make those improvements, to the golf course, Judge. We do have a commitment to the youth of Zapata. Speaking of the greens, I know Mr. Pena has been trying to fix green number 4 and 5, but I think it's been about 3 months, and
They're not responding?
I don't think they're responding as we thought they should. So we might have to look in the future, Judge, to redo those greens from number 4 and 5 to some people.
So I guess if we enter into the agreement, we'll pay the 582 the next, I think we have $1,600 to pay.
And if, by the time we purchase it and start getting the financing, it won't be till October, so.
Correct.
Probably.
Okay.
A motion to approve, Judge, as presented, a
For
payment
budgeting
of $582.05 a month for the next 16 months.
I guess for the public, the amount of the machine, the cost is,
$29,625, Judge.
okay, 20, so.
$29,625.
Motion by Commissioner Solis to approve the purchase of an aerator machine, for the Los Alamos Golf Course of $29,625 to be, paid, monthly. of $582.05. Seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion?
Just for 5 years?
60 months, it
60
says.
60 months?
Yeah. There is, we can pay it ahead of time, hopefully we will, but
But we can't.
I don't know if we want to be making monthly payments, we'll see. I mean,
I'll talk
if you
to
can
them.
run them, we can do
Can we
that.
do it monthly, or, annually? We'll figure it out.
Okay. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10 is to review and possible approval of bids to fill in the breakage of the existing boat ramp concrete slab. And I think the commissioner took some pictures of our, of course, the lake being almost 50 feet low. It has exposed some of the wear and tear on that boat ramp. And I mean, it's the time to fix it, where the lake being low, hopefully we'll get some big rains and fill it up. I don't know, Commissioner, I think Commissioner Morales, you had.
I
Reached
talked
out.
to 4 different contractors, and we only got one bid in, and I just gave you guys a copy.
Okay, so we have one bid, from,
$7,250, Judge?
yes, sir, from, Mr. Jose Luis Guevara.
Judge, I'll make a motion to approve, Jose Luis Guevara to do the work at the Zapata County Board.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded,
I'll second it.
seconded by Commissioner, Garza. So, we are gonna run, I mean, this is coming from non-department,
Yes.
so I think, given that, you know, well, hopefully the lake will fill up, but I think it's a good time to fix it.
Yes, before the lake
We
starts
have
coming back.
money in our fund balance to fix this type of project, so, we'll go ahead and move forward. We got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And one more thing, that's including the concrete, everything, or just like?
Includes demolition, disposal of debris, concrete improvement, with
Turnkey.
rebar and labor.
Rebar and labor, so-
See, what's going on there for public knowledge, it's in the corner where the trailers reverse just with the boats. So it's actually damaging trailers, boats. And we might, tires, and we might get, an accident out there, so we gotta prevent that, to help our fishermen as well.
And we have the same problem on, if we run through boat ramps on the right, on the right and the left side of the concrete slab, so both sides are gonna be fixed.
Very well. Thank you, Commissioner, for spearheading that project. Item number 11 is to approve an MOU between Zapata County and Zapata County ISD for the use of Zapata County Higher Ed Center. Mr. Gonzalez, good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Yes, so I think it's been almost 10 years since the county and the school entered into agreement for you to use that structure as it was proposed to do initially when the funding was arranged for it from, I think we got it from the economic development. I think it was a grant from the economic development and EDA, and certainly it was supposed to be used for higher education. And initially, we tried to get universities to come down, colleges. They did for a while, didn't work out, but I'm glad you were able to, the school district was able to take care of it and utilize it for the benefit of our kids and their
And we
education,
absolutely do.
which meets the grant obligations, and certainly that helped the county out also.
And we absolutely use it as much as possible, so we're very appreciative of the agreement, and we're requesting it to be renewed unless there's any questions that I might answer. I know that we have continued, Commissioner Morales would be able to also attest to the improvements of the building. Obviously, all of the technology has already been updated, so it continues to be at that level to be able to provide the services to our students.
Has legal had a chance to review the contract?
Yes.
Or they did?
Our legal and Mr. Figueroa as well.
Okay, Judge, I'll make a motion that we approve the MOU between Zapata County and Zapata County ISD, and it's a term for another 10 years, or what's the term?
10 years.
I'll second that motion to that.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, second by Commissioner Solis. You know, I was reading through the agreement, it's fine, that the county, for the most part, is responsible for the exterior of the building. It's a 10-year agreement. That building's been there maybe 15 to 20. So there'll be some expenses on the exterior, I think, and maybe the roof, some of the exterior walls. I was thinking maybe we could share in some of those costs, and that was my only thing that I kind of would like to bring up and say, okay, are we gonna be responsible for the complete update?
But I guess that we can, once that time
That
comes.
We can come back to the school, for the school
Great.
district, see if we can partner on, if there's some major improvements that need to be made, during the 10-year cycle.
I mean, it's obviously in both of our interests, right, to continue
Yeah,
that.
so I just wanna bring, it's a 10-year agreement, that it's gonna be an aging building, there's gonna be things that are gonna.
And I think the need is already presently there, Judge, it's already, there's some areas that are actually cracking on the
Marcus
exterior.
stuff over.
Maybe we can go out for bids, get some bids on what those repairs would be. We have an actual number, then we can have a sit down with the school district and figure out.
Certainly, by this agreement, you wouldn't be obligated, but certainly
Right,
we
right.
could, yeah.
For
It's a
consideration.
conversation we can have.
Good faith.
Okay, all right, okay, that's fine. A motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I think we've got two more with you,
The
Joe.
last two,
Yes, sir, I am not aware of the numbers, I.
Okay, 28 and 29, yeah, we'll get them out of the way. 28 is to approve a contract between Zapata County and Zapata County Independent School District for election services for the upcoming November 5th, 2024 election. Mary Jane, any comments on that?
It's been reviewed by the county attorney and
And our legal, yeah.
motion to approve, Judge, as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 29 is to approve an interlocal agreement between Zapata County and Zapata County Independent School District for the assessment and collection of ad valorem taxes.
Ms. Mendoza, everything okay on that?
I haven't seen the contract, but I imagine it's the same one.
It's
that
identical.
we're-
It's 50, I guess they pay half the cost of your office.
Department overhead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, motion to approve, Judge.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Rod.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Gonzalez.
for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 12 is to consider funding for street improvements from Safe Streets and Roads for All grant program. Commissioner Solis?
Judge, I believe we had it, posted back in April, but I believe, Mr. Gonzalez, did we miss the deadline on that? What happened there on, back in April?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
On that one, we need to get I guess two consultants on board. One will be your administrative consultant and your engineering consultant. We had prepared some estimates for the county and some locations that we wanted to pave on that last round. We just need, I know that your consultant that did the last TechStop project, Mr. Esser, he just recently, last week, went to the meeting for the safe routes to schools, which is this one that you're referring to. So he did the one for it wasn't that one that we did last time, and you didn't have him on board. So my suggestion would be to, I guess, get him on board so that we can then apply for this one and see if we can get funded for this paving round that they wanna do.
Cause I think the
So
deadline is
we would have to
approaching
bring
Yeah.
that before the court back then for.
I think the deadline is what, August
fast.
3rd?
August 29th.
29th?
That's the deadline, August
Yeah.
29th.
So, yeah, you would need to, because the way he explained it to me is you have to present, a safety need on the streets that you want to,
We definitely have that.
pave. And then, I mean, the potholes themselves sometimes, can create that, but there needs to be a write-up for that, and then there needs to be there's certain, I guess, guidelines that the application has that needs to be met so that the program can be applied for and be, successful. And so my suggestion is bring somebody on board to do that part of it, and then we'll do the engineering part of it, and then we'll put it together and get it submitted.
Is this a yearly grant application or?
It's not yearly, I haven't seen it from TechStop every year, I did see it come in this year, but, over the last 10 years, it hasn't been available every year.
Is this 50-50? It's 80-20?
Matching grant or?
No, I think it's a majority, it's just a grant.
Do we
I
know
think
what the
like
grant amount is?
The last one, no, the last one that you got was for roughly, I think, like 200,000, and that was a grant that they allocated for Zapata County. Now, the county matched that 200 with an additional, 200, so then we ended up using that for streets, but it wasn't required for us to match it, it's just 200 wasn't really that much to fix.
What year was that, Mr. Gonzalez, do you remember?
That's the one it's on your agenda.
Okay,
that
so
one-
we're currently working right now.
No, that one's completed, so
It is completed,
we're
but-
requesting the funding for that one, but that one got completed. So it was maybe like 3 years ago on that one, and so then this one, came up, and I would imagine it would be more than that. I would think it's like probably closer to 500 to $1 million. Because the paving.
So there's a lot of work to be done before the deadline,
The submittal.
of submittal.
Yes, sir.
And that would include identifying the streets that we would wanna include to be repaired.
Yeah, we've identified some already
So
that
statewide, I
need to
think
be
it was
repaired, but we can add to
162
the ones that we might, see that are problem areas throughout the county. So, that would be our,
You think we can swing it, Commissioner, to get everything,
I
before
just
the
don't know
deadline?
if we have to properly advertise for administration, I don't think we can just bring somebody on.
Because it's two cycles, I believe, for advertising, so that puts us 2 weeks.
That's gonna be my next question, the scoring. I mean, does this need to have scoring? Is that part of the
I'm pretty
register?
sure it does,
Yeah.
I think given the fact that.
I think it does, cause we did one in another community that, it ended up being that Texas wanted to do the design in-house. I don't think that they would do the design in-house for these, but I'm not sure, I mean, like, if they do, then we can still apply for it, but then they would do the design in-house, and then they would oversee the construction as well. And, we would need to visit
This,
with
I
them.
mean, it could run this week, which is the 24th and the 31st, that's the 2 cycles, so we can get that out of the way before the end of this month.
Okay.
Yeah, the deadline's the 29th of
August.
Of August.
Oh,
So that still gives us,
That should give us enough time.
August
yeah, that still gives us a whole month of August.
Well, then, yeah, we can make that
We can
action.
swing it, I mean, we can put it in the paper for this week and then the following, and that covers the advertising.
I think that- that would be-
I think it's very important that, you know,
We try to-
we try to get this, especially, you know, our street conditions that we currently have.
I agree,
We have a
Commissioner.
lot of need.
I think if we put it, like Commissioner,
Mendoza.
And whatever we can alleviate from what we were, of course, I guess, planning on using on the bonds, I mean,
Right.
anything that we can do before that, of course, will save us money in the long run, so.
sure.
It's money we don't have to pull out of those bonds that we were talking about.
I've seen some of these textile ones, that, like, the last one was 200, but it was just an allocation, this one's a grant application. I've seen them go between $1 million to $5 million. I worked on one that it was up to $5 million, and, they got funded 100%.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Engineering, like, engineering, construction, and, construction supervision.
So we basically, by, bringing you on a few months ago, we've done the planning section of that.
You have some of that, yes.
We did most of it in April, back in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I said, you already have that.
Yeah,
So-
you already
so-
identified the
so
streets
if
and
you
just,
You just need
They need
to
to
then
work.
bring in the other side of it, so that we can then put it together and submit.
That's fine, we'll just, I'll entertain a motion to,
Motion
go
to
on.
approve, Judge, and also authorize, Mr. Gonzalez to go ahead and start working on the advertising part of it, so we can get the ball rolling on this and try to
And
get
then
those
go on
bids in.
for administrative
And go on
services
first.
and engineering services.
And then engineering
We'll
service.
put them, you couldn't put them both at the
We
same
put them
time.
together.
Yeah, so motion to advertise for both, administration and, engineering services, to be able for us to, be able to, apply
Apply.
for the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant.
And meet the requirements.
Yes, we got a motion, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, Roxy will take care of the advertising.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Item number 13 is to authorize the firms of Premier Engineering and Carlos Colina Vargas and Associates to prepare an application to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department for indoor recreation funding for the conversion and adaptive reuse of a pavilion for the Boys and Girls Club. Mr. Colina Vargas, good to see you, sir.
Good morning, Judge, good morning.
I guess you will hear in our conversation, you think it's proper to go out for administrative engineering before we select a firm.
Thank you, Judge, for the opportunity to be here this morning. For your consideration is authorizing the preparation of an application to Texas Parks and Wildlife for the reconstruction of the Boys and Girls Pavilion to convert it into an indoor activity and recreation center.
That would be amazing, yes.
Is this gonna go hand in hand with the allocation that Congressman Cuellar was, getting for Zapata County, or?
It should go hand in hand. Now, the good thing about this, that we might be able to use the property value for the Boys and Girls Club, which is 1.5 right now. It's appraised at 1.5, so that should definitely help us out. So in the pictures, if you see the city of Ed Couch, they actually did something similar this current year, and that one, I believe it was 1.3.
Was 1 million. The city put some, cost in, parking area and landscaping, but basically the, project was $1 million. For many years, Parks and Wildlife didn't finance, indoor recreation because they didn't have the money. But, this past year with the infrastructure, by partisan infrastructure funding, they have plenty of money, to finance indoor recreation and have invited applications. I included the, list of all the, different grant categories that they have. They have different, requirements and different, source of funding and, different match. This particular one is called a non-urban, indoor recreation. Finances 50% of the cost, up to $1.5 million. So you can match it with $1.5 million. Like the commissioner mentioned, the property is counted as the local match. So you have a good chance of, being able to finance the project.
Very well.
That's one thing, Judge, and the commissioners, that I did, have a conversation with Mr. Vargas, that, you know, the current situation that we have a couple of active, grants that are pending. So I said, you know, we can actually use it as a match, you know, with the value. I think that'd be our best bet, and definitely our kids do need this,
Given the temperatures.
given the temperatures that we do have here, you know, the fresh 120-degree temperature days that we do have. So, I mean, we can, use that value, that'd be great.
Well, Mr. Vargas, you've been very successful in allocating grants for us through Texas Parks and Wildlife the last few years, so let's hope that lucky streak continues.
And the deadline is
we
August
get
the
the
1st.
allocation.
We'll give it a try.
We appreciate your help.
Yeah.
Judge, Commissioners, I just asked that, he works together with the board and the club as well.
Of course, we definitely need the
just
board's input
because-
and participation in the planning of it.
Yeah, cause we
They're
are,
the ones that know the need of the actual facility.
yeah, we were looking at two similar avenues as well, to apply for grant funding to do the same enclosures of the pavilion.
Mr. Vargas, is the county or the applicants limited to one project, or we can apply for several?
But you can apply for the other categories.
Commissioners, I would think that you might as well get the outdoor recreation. I think we all know we need lights in all our
That's one of the main needs,
I've
Judge,
been
in our
talking
parks.
to Mr. Tulino, and also we're looking into the phase 2 of the
Miras Flores, yes.
and that's including like.
So you're
We're
going to
trying to
include all
see
that, yeah.
The
And that would
cost
be-
that it would require from us, so
Right.
hopefully we can have the same situation where we can match
with the.
part, if not all of it, most of it, and then, fund whatever it's.
And that will be under the small communities category, so there is no conflict there.
Judge,
We're at the deadline.
We're at the deadline, August 1st, also for.
But we're good we have time to make this one application.
Yes, sir. Last week we visited the site and we did, a reconnaissance.
What's the deadline, Commissioner?
August the 1st is the deadline for all of them.
2 weeks.
We did a reconnaissance, inspection of the place and.
I think we've already done a master plan as far as the needs of all the local parks, so we have that at least out of the
We have
way.
the Park master plan.
Yeah.
The building is huge. Compared with other facilities, you know, like it's probably 2 or 3 times the size of the one in Enclave. So this is one issue that we have been discussing with the engineer. He's already working on a rough estimate.
Maybe
That
you can
probably,
put it in half and do
we can do half of the building.
That's
as
each one.
and you know they have open for outdoor activities. So we still don't have, final detailed scope.
Yeah.
But we're working on that. And the guideline will be the cost, the budget, within your, match.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the idea, is to keep the project within your match, so that no general fund, balance would have to be used to match the project, would just use the value of the building and the land.
Which is what we're
That
seeing.
one, so we would be looking at approximately, between $1 million to $1.5 million on the improvements. Because if the value that we have, the appraised value that we have on the building and the land is 1.5, then we'd like to stay within that, so that all the improvements get paid for with that match. And we're looking at, we're trying to see if we can maximize closing the entire building. It's a 200 by 100 square foot building. So
It's a good size building.
It's a good size. We'd like to put in office space and some restrooms indoors, air conditioning, the basketball goals. Right now they have 3 basketball goals that are going side by side. I know that the Boys and Girls Club has done a good job with working with the summer league, and the kids have been playing, but that will let them have volleyball, girls playing, or the boys playing, and girls, basketball. The goals right now are a little bit further out, so we would like to make them regulation size. They just, right now, they're attached to the building itself, but that would be, encountered, and then the air conditioning, put some windows, and like I said, the bathrooms in an office space.
I wonder if there would be a way, I mean, I know there would be a way, but if it would be feasible to somehow connect the two structures, to not have to expose the kids to the rough elements, like harsh rain or a thunderstorm or something like that, to where they would have to
Maybe
actually
just like an open.
physically walk outside and, from one building to
Maybe
the
just like an
other.
open walkway canopy.
Covered canopy could be certainly considered. I know that we've done that in other projects where.
I just don't want to cut into the soccer field, because I know the soccer field is right there, and.
There's an existing sidewalk that goes from one building to the other, so covering that, with a canopy, that would probably keep the kids out of the elements during the winter or the rainy days, and they can get into the other building. We're also considering putting in, using the existing concrete floor. When we went and looked at it, it's in very good shape, but the directors were mentioning that it's very slippery for the kids, so we would either resurface it with appropriate material that would be for the sport that's gonna be used.
Yeah, we're talking about that rubber tile for the
Yeah.
basketball.
That'd be great. It's very needed improvement.
So what do you need from us today, Mr. Vargas?
Your authorization for us to proceed with the application and the approval of the resolution.
Judge, I make a motion to authorize Premier Engineering and Carlos Colina Vargas to prepare the application for Parks and Wildlife.
Second the motion.
Motion and a second by Commissioner Mendoza. Do you have the resolution with you?
Yes, it's
attached to the back.
And that is your item number 30 in the agenda. Also, so please take care of that.
On the picture, Judge.
It's a pretty standard,
Well, it says that's in that page.
it's pretty standard.
Resolution authorizing.
Pretty standard document, it's handed to us by Parks and Wildlife.
It's in the back of the.
Okay, so we'll get to, we have it, okay, yeah.
I'll work with Roxy to
Okay.
complete it. The only item there is to authorize a local official to be the representative. Typically, it's the county judge or the mayor, sometimes the county commissioner of the precinct or a city council member.
Okay.
Or any other official, sometimes the director of Parks and Recreation in larger cities, so it's up to you. You want to,
Okay.
authorize the county judge.
Usually, the county judge.
Mr. Vargas, do you think we would have to, or do you think we would be able to, swing including some lighting for the other parks and to meet the deadline of August 1st?
Another application for the other.
A separate application.
Yeah,
Separate application under the,
You can give it a grant commissioner.
outdoor recreation.
Give it a
That's
grant.
what we discussed last week.
Because I think all of us have, lighting needs in our parks. That's one of the main things that we're lacking.
It just relax.
I mean,
The local parks, urban outdoor recreation.
I mean, there's other needs, but I think one of the main needs would be lighting. And being that we're kind of short on time, 2 weeks.
What, Commissioner, we could, on your, local park, small community recreation, on that particular item, you have 150,000. We could maybe consider doing the second addition to the park over there, in addition to the lighting, because I don't think it'll take 150 to do that other part, because it's a smaller section. And, but that you could have, okay, we're doing lighting for other parts and we're doing another part, so that it may have a little bit more merit than if we just come just with a lighting project. I don't know if it'll get enough points by itself.
That makes sense.
And so we look at, okay, putting lights on the different parts that currently exist and adding a small addition to the other, maybe extending the walking trail and maybe a playground unit. But-
Judge, there's also one there for recreational trails. I don't know if that would be
Yes.
covered for the golf course recreational
Well,
trails.
That's the one that you currently have.
Okay.
Currently have.
Yes, but it was in conjunction with the golf course purchase. So you
Okay.
purchase the golf course, and then the funds remaining, which was, I think, you have roughly about $200,000 for that. And so we are proposing a trail, asphalt trail, from behind the library all the way to the end and all the way back with some lighting, and it'll, you know,
So
we're trying to
we're-
keep it within the 200.
Right, but we're not able to apply for a new one until we close out the previous one, correct?
Right, I'd like to get that one out and.
That was my question,
Yeah.
because since I know we're gonna be a little bit short, and we were gonna have to modify the use of materials for that. That's
Yes.
why I was asking if we could apply for it again, but we currently have one open, so.
Well, in February 1st is the deadline for the recreation trail.
Okay.
That particular grant is not a state grant, it's a federal grant, it's from the Department of Transportation, from the US State.
And that's 300,000, correct?
And, it gives you $300 for walking and jogging trails. And
Non-motorized.
$500 for motorized trail, because they, allow, ATVs and, those bicycles and stuff.
Electric.
So this is something that we can, consider coming February next year.
The deadline's February.
Okay.
So, yeah, we would
That's a good
have
option.
the other one already completed by that time.
Okay, that answers my question, very good.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Very well, good seeing you.
Thank you, Mr. Vargas. Keep that good luck streak going.
Thank you.
Solis Mendoza.
Solis Mendoza.
Take
Mr.
care.
Vargas, let's make it happen.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried. Item, number 14 is to transfer Norberto Lozano from 15-424 slot number 5 at $10.48 an hour to 15-424 slot number 4 at $11.96 an hour.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Garza, Morales, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 15 is to hire Jose Salinas in 15-424 slot number 5 at $10.48 an hour effective 7/9/2024.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner, motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 16 is to discuss and possible action on the procedures for county auctions according to local government code section 263.151-263 and 263.158. Our county auditor, Mr. Gonzalez Trufo, yes, thank you for taking this subject down. I think we've done very well with our,
CM auctions.
ECM
Yes,
auctions
we
or
have.
auction companies. I think we just need to follow some procedures.
Some
before we get-
procedures, yes, and, the last section of this, which is 263.158, local government code, has to do with rules. And the rules state, the Commissioners Court may adopt rules necessary to administer this subchapter. So that's why I'm here to see if we can, have some rules in place.
So what are
mainly-
we doing right now that is not in part
Right
with the
now,
requirement?
everybody just, if you have, property, they're putting it on CM, or they'll come by and say, hey, do you wanna sell that?
We're
And
having
they'll sell it, and
difficulty
we'll get
tracking,
proceeds.
the equipment that's being sold, whether the court, can decide whether we need to sell that equipment. So we're basically leaving it up to department heads and elected officials to say, yeah, I don't want this, I'm gonna sell it.
So
And-
before it gets to the auction, the court needs to approve it. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
What I'm proposing is for, if I have a department and I wanna sell, 3 cars, I come to the court, tell you which cars they are, and have also approval, the Commissioner's Court's approval, to, for me to sell them.
Right.
Once I sell them,
she'll go through, let's say Nelly, Ms. Nelly Trevino, and she'll get the
Inventory list.
the titles in place, because we're doing it after the fact with some of these things. So, and once that's done, then the proceeds would come to Mr. Trevino or my office, and then we'll, you know.
It
deposit
just
the
allows
treasures.
us better documentation
Yes.
of our inventory and
And track
how
it.
to track it.
This is like, today we have item 21, that's what Danny's requesting.
And that's what he's doing here. So I think he's following the rules that we may be adopting today.
Also, in section 263.156, the proceeds, it talks about proceeds and what the court can do, and the court can decide to put it back in the general fund or in the person's line item.
Exactly.
Right. So
Correct.
instead of it just, you know.
Yeah, so we had an issue with checks being issued to departments instead of to the county.
Or
And-
people
and
want to-
certainly it
I'm sorry.
needs to come to the Zapata County. Then the commissioners court, we decide, all right, yes, we can allocate these funds back to your department, but we certainly don't want checks being issued to department heads or departments or.
Well, to their, to the county, but through them, and then.
Right.
The other thing is also, we might have let's say a good car that, you know, they wanna sell, and.
We may be able to transfer it to a different department
Yeah,
within
exactly.
internally.
You can find
Now, I was gonna ask
another-
about the truck, see if this truck is, because I know the water plant needs trucks.
Yes,
So-
exactly, stuff
so
like that.
maybe one that we're putting up for auction, maybe it's worth saving, I don't know, it may not be.
Someone's
so-
trash.
It puts the decisions back on the commissioner's court.
Yeah.
It brings the decisions back to the commissioner.
I think we just wanna be able to track what we sell and keep.
Judge, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the policies and procedures and put that into place that any county department that wishes to sell any type of equipment through auction needs to go to Commissioner's Court first, get Commissioner's Court approval, and then once the approval is set, then it'll go ahead and move out into auction.
Yes, and it'll be the checks, the money, the proceeds will come into.
To
my
the treasury.
office or-
Treasury.
Now, our checks to be made payable to Zapata County.
Well, they're always made to the Zapata County, that's not the problem, it's just that they, you know, kinda take it to the treasurer's office and then put it into their line item and.
Okay.
It usually gets transferred to an asset account, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
so I think for tracking purposes
Correct.
and I guess for audit purposes, well, it'll be much cleaner for us.
More
And then
organized.
being able to follow, you know, the titles for having everything in place.
And before we sell it,
sell.
we need to make sure
Correct.
that the title, that we do have the
And
title.
like the judge was saying, we might have something that, you know, I wanna sell, but you might be able to use it, we might be able to use it somewhere else, yeah. Also, there's also an area here where you can Commissioner's Court can reject offers also, so.
Yeah, as far as titles, I know that CM, if you don't have a title for any of the vehicles, they'll take care of that too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Very well,
Commissioner, they've never gone through my office and I'm the one who holds all the titles. So it has created a problem where they've sold vehicles and they don't go through the proper channels to obtain these titles.
And we're still paying insurance possibly on
And
it.
I don't remove them from the insurance because I'm not
Well,
aware of
that's the
the
other thing,
auction.
Us at the district, when we have the auction, if we don't have the transfer from Zapata SD to the individual who bought it, we don't release the vehicle.
And that's
why we're
the
doing it. That's why
issue
we're
that
putting
we're
this in place
having
to
at
have
the
that.
moment.
Yeah, because we don't have that in place right now.
We're just trying to clean it up.
Well,
I'll
we'll
second
fix it.
Commissioner Mendoza's motion.
We got a motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis to adopt the rules, I guess that we have
And
on record.
you'll communicate this to other department heads, Mr. Gonzalez, to
Correct.
let them know.
Yes.
He already has.
Can't jump the gun.
You're ahead of it. Great job.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Item number 17 is to approve Texas Association of Counties Blue Cross Blue Shield renewal rates for fiscal year 2024 and 2025.
Nelly, I know you handed out a handout
The renewal
showing the
rate.
different options, and you mentioned that what we're leaning more towards is the 85% employer contribution, is that correct?
Yes, good morning, Judge Commissioners. We did receive our renewal packet. The rates for this year did not increase. But, you know, we have been working out the different options. This is what I usually provide to the court so that you can have a better understanding of the costs associated with each tier. So basically, this is the current plan that we have, which is the 1400 NGS. It has a $2,000 deductible. And you can see that the cost per employee, is $761.14.
So we're currently at the 95% employee contribution.
Yes, currently we are at the 95%. So,
And
So,
Commissioner, basically, this is a budget proposal. We lost, $150 million in value,
Right.
from this current year's budget to the upcoming current year. So the options for us are very limited. Either we lay off employees, to meet our budget, balancing requirements, or do we all, sacrifice a little bit and, you know, the court through the years, we've been very generous and rightly
Yes.
so, as to what employees, how much they pay for their insurance coverage. But we basically at the point that we can't afford to, keep as many employees as we currently have, with all the benefits that we provide, with the funding that's coming into the county. Of course, our fund balance have been decreasing, through the years, and we constantly having to rely on our fund balance to balance our budgets. So
I think the 85% is still fair, Judge. It pretty
Yeah.
much puts,
Well, like
Well,
a
it's a
60,
$250,000 savings to the county.
I mean, it's gonna cost the employee probably $30 per pay
30
period.
to 60, I think it is.
Well, here
Per
it's
month.
52.69 bi-weekly, so it's 114.17 a month.
If it's the employee only, we have the employee
it-
children.
Right, the employee only. I mean, basically, we're going from an employee only right now from our current plan, which is 17.56 bi-weekly. We're jumping to 52.69 bi-weekly, so it's about a $30 difference. I mean, I think it's still very affordable considering the cost of healthcare right now.
you do have, I mean, this is the plan, the current plan that we do have. If you would like to see other options, we do have alternate plans, but you are raising the deductible. Of course, the premiums go down a little bit, significantly, so that could be an option as well. But, I mean, of course.
How many
alternate-
employees actually meet the deductible, Nelly?
From the reports that I've seen, it's about maybe less than 6% of the total employees. So it's not.
I think there were
very many.
17 this year
There are about less than 20 employees.
Okay.
that actually, I mean, so you treat it as a, I mean, I get, a lot of employees tell me, what I can't afford the $2,000 deductible on my pay, so I understand, it's understandable what they're saying. It's like, I don't feel I have insurance if the county's not covering me because I still can't afford the deductible. But I think if there's a, catastrophic illness that the
Long-term.
employee, yes, I think that they can come up with a deductible. It just, I guess for elective surgeries or that type of medical procedures, many employees are putting them off, because they can't afford the deductible. So it just, how much can we afford to provide to our employees? And now we're even at that expense, we're, proposing to have them pay a little more in order to be able to afford the employees that we currently have on staff. It's, I think brighter days are coming. There's a lot of, the county approved payment today, but of a project that's gonna be constructed. It just, there's what we approved, I think, 6 solar projects that will bring values of almost $2 billion into our county, but they're not here yet, and we're
It's
still
gonna take a few
depending
years.
on our natural gas revenues, and they dropped substantially from like $150 million less. Our real estate is pretty stable values, but the natural gas mineral values have been very volatile and usually going down. So they dropped $150 million, which is about $1 million less coming into our treasury to work with. So it's a difficult time.
Situation.
What about the,
Nelly,
what
what's
about
the
the,
deductible?
what about the A-liners, are they still in town, the ones?
There was renewal, there was maybe
It's
a
the plan.
30% drop in renewals. We went from
The current one.
1,100 to 700.
I think we budgeted 1.1 and we brought in 800,000.
Yes,
So about 2.
so they dropped also.
Judge, I'll make a motion that we approve the 85% employee contribution plan as recommended by our HR director, to be able to meet the budgetary needs for this coming budget for 2024.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Garza. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 18 is to approve the emeritus renewal rate for fiscal year 2024, 2025.
This one, as well, it didn't have a rate increase, so we'll be.
Everything stays the same. Motion to approve as presented, Judge.
Motion to approve as presented by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 19 is to approve the holiday calendar for fiscal year 2024 and 2025.
Judge Commissioners, I did, pass out a, proposed calendar.
Any
for
changes
the-
made from the previous calendar?
No, we are having a little bit less, a couple of less days that we didn't, include on there. And usually you see it during when Christmas falls, so.
Just based on what the days are?
Yes.
Okay, so we won't get too many complaints if the county has too many days off. Motion to approve, Judge, on the holiday calendar as presented.
It is, there for you.
So we got a motion, a second, what are the change, motion by Commissioner Mendoza, second by Commissioner
Basically,
Solis.
I think we have 2 days less this
Okay.
upcoming year, and it's because of the Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
How it falls.
All right.
On how the dates fall, Judge. based on
The
dates.
fair days will stay the same? Yes.
I think I left them.
Nelly, we didn't include, election day.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, y'all look at them,
November.
closely.
Election day is November the 5th.
November.
November 5th, 2024.
We have,
It's the second one on the list there in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, okay.
okay, it's just not,
It's not, okay.
it's not highlighted, it's on the list,
It's on the
it's
list,
just
but
not
not over
highlighted.
here. Okay,
Oh,
got
on
it.
the actual calendar itself?
Okay,
But it is on there,
yeah, okay, then we're
it
good.
just needs to be highlighted. Highlighted.
Good?
Yeah, my
Okay.
motion stands, Judge.
All right, okay, motion and second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Who seconded the motion?
Solis.
Solis, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nelly.
Item number 20 is to hire full-time Dayla Mireles Casa as a paramedic on position number 24 at $15.19 an hour in general order budget code 10-543. Motion to approve this? Motion
Chief,
to
is
approve.
this individual local or
She's from Laredo.
from Laredo? Okay, I'll second the motion, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Lee, seconded by Commissioner Mendoza. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 21 is, and thank you, Gabby, for all the wonderful work y'all do.
Thank you.
Item number 21 is to approve the following to be auctioned from the fire department. A vehicle is a 2006 Ford 150, and from Constable Precinct 2 vehicle, it's a 2007 Ford Expedition. So on the constable vehicles, with Operation Lone Star, we have ordered new vehicles for all the constables, so that will be a replacement vehicle for them. The 2006 is completely out of commission.
Out of commission.
Never mind, I was gonna say, Ralph, you wanna go take a look at it?
Parts.
No, I know, by the time they go to auction, we
Yeah.
pretty well.
They're on blocks.
Yes.
Motion to approve, Judge, as presented.
Motion to approve as presented by Commissioner Mendoza.
Did you have anything, Mr. Gonzalez?
Well, I was gonna add that also another thing is the dispositions of vehicles that we need to make sure when they're Operation Lone Star or any other grants, gives Ms. Janine an opportunity to.
Yes.
To make sure everything's
We
clear.
need
to
to
the
tidy
city.
up our
Yeah.
process, so
Yeah,
that's
to
what we're
remove
gonna
it
do.
from-
I just thought of that right now and now we're bringing it.
Yeah.
So once we get a
I was
good
gonna
number
ask,
of
just because I
vehicles.
just remembered right now, are we still using that box truck that we had purchased for the
Food.
food pantry? Is that being
It-
utilized or?
It's been
It's been
parked,
parked.
Mr. Salinas has the keys to the vehicle, but I'm sure if any department needs it.
We used it to bring some computers, computers that were.
Is that a
donated
refrigerator
to
truck
the
or-
We
county.
have used it, but it's just that.
Last month or 2 months ago, right,
Mhm.
from San Antonio, so.
So it is getting used, okay, I
It's
just.
just not
I
as
was just
regular,
wondering.
but it gets you, just not as regular.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
So, motion is second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 22 is to approve a payment in the amount of $57,800 to Ramza Electromechanics Incorporated for the complete overhaul and repairing of the Zapata County Waterworks intake system pump. Commissioners, Ralph, mentioned to me that, Ralph, that we only had one, we've got 3 pumps that are raw water intake.
Yes, sir.
Only one was functioning, correctly, and I said, get the other one fixed. We need to have a backup, even though we do have a diesel pump backup. Certainly, I felt that it was an emergency that we get this, pump fixed. It wasn't in his budget, of course, it's a expensive, article, equipment, but we absolutely need to have backup, so that's, I told, Ralph, just bring it before the court, we need to approve this pumps and make sure we,
This one is for
have
which one?
water for our community.
Judge, I'll make a motion to approve payment
I'll
of
second the motion.
$57,800.
Yes,
And you just completed everything, this past week, so it's.
it's installed and it's ready to go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, certainly, we wanna make sure we have backup there.
Yes.
And they'll be alternating, or how do
Yes,
they work?
They'll be alternating. We have that option, so, yes.
Yes, so, and the
Just so
third
there's
pump
no-
is,
you know,
the third pump, we're hoping to get some funding to purchase a
Yes,
brand
sir,
new.
we are. Yes, we're looking into that, so, God willing.
So it should be 3 pumps?
It should be 3, so now we have 2 fully operational, and then we have the backup diesel also. So you could say we have 3, but it's, you know.
The diesel is not as optimal to have as having those electric pumps operating, so we need to have all 3, but we're hopefully be able to get some funding for the third, to purchase a brand new,
Yes,
but, when, we only had one working and, certainly.
Just
We should be
gambling.
prepared
Yeah.
in case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got a motion
Solis
by Commissioner
Mendoza.
Solis, and seconded by Commissioner Mendoza, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And this will be coming from our fund balance, I know you didn't budget that in here, but we'll run it through one of your line items.
I was gonna run through his, through
Okay,
personal
yeah,
maintenance.
just
So we know.
Yeah.
We keep track.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Item, number 23 is to review and consider the bids, for the Zapata County Jail repairs.
And he's back.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Morning, from Solis.
On this project is, the repairs that I had brought before the court previously, and we submitted the project to, about 20 contractors. Local and out of town.
Wow, 20, huh?
Yeah, and, we did have,
No.
we had 5 that showed up for the we requested a pre-bid. Okay, you're looking for your packet?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have them right here. We just opened bids on Friday. So, we did have 5 that, we had requested a pre-bid meeting. That way we could explain to the contractors what was on the specs, on what we were requiring of them. That way everybody would know they had apples with apples. This is the type of material that we wanna use, this is the work that needs to be done, and this is the, you know, the expectation of the project it's written in the specs, but if they don't go and see it physically, then, so the 5 that did show up was, Blue Bonnet Builders, Campus Construction, Frank's Construction, Our Own Cruise Land Services, and Texas Elite Construction. Those are the 5 that showed up for the pre-bid meeting. On Friday, this Friday, we opened bids, and only 3 submitted a bid. Out of the 3 that submitted a bid was Campos Construction, Frank's Construction, and Texas Elite Construction. And we went through there and tabulated the bids. The bids, one of the bids was not submitted in its complete form. We had, Texas Elite Construction submitted a bid that was, $98,475, but we did not have usually when we request for bids to be submitted, there is a section there within the packet, and I did bring them, so if you wanted to review them, you can, that, it needs to be notarized so that, your bid becomes notarized. There is a set of, I guess, forms and guidelines that we provide to the contractor, so when they're bidding, that's their complete packet.
Right.
They submitted the price for all the items, but none of the additional
Okay,
forms.
so they're
Which
up.
voids
They
it.
didn't meet the requirements, so
That's,
they're up.
okay, so then, I just wanted to present it to the court. Then we have Campos Construction was the second bidder was at $107,250. They submitted all of their required, documents, all the required forms, and the insurance that was required. The notary was, also, acknowledged, and we had an addendum that we had made a change, from what, we had 6 cells as our base bid, and then we had, all the remaining cells as our additional, bid. The base bid was $16,500 for the 6 cells, and then it was $90,750 for all the remaining cells, for a total of $107,250. that, I did it that way the court could then decide, okay, do we wanna just do the 6, or do we wanna do maybe, 12 or 15, or do we wanna do all of them and it's a 107, 250? But from
When you
this,
say all of them, that would be how many?
107, 250.
But how many cells?
How many cells?
It ends up being, I think, was it 26?
So that, the whole jail would be refurbished already as far as cells?
Well, we would have maybe, I think, Mr. Martinez, Luis Martinez that works at the jail, he brought up one other one, like on Thursday.
I mean,
Yeah.
It'll
so
be at
for
least
the most part,
90%.
Because we had done 7 previously, and then now we're doing 26, so pretty much, yes. It's gonna, repair
be
the
like a
cracks,
90.
or like, seal them and repaint all the rooms. The beds that had the deteriorated metal, those are gonna be cut off and re-welded and reattached to the ground. And then the tables, they're anchored to the ground, but they're all scratched and it has initials and everything on them. They'll sand those down and recoat those as well. Same thing with the doors and the window frames. They have a lot of, initials and different type of, just, over the years, wear and tear, right? So then the cells would be upgraded. The only thing that we left out of the cells was the shower area in specific. They have a contract, and there is already a separate contract that, it's already colored in a different color. So I was able to tell all the contractors, anything that's in blue, which is a small area, but it's a shower area, that's already being covered by a different contract. So everything else, then that's kind of what, and we had already specified it in this plan. But yeah, so it pretty much gets the whole jail up to speed, and there is some, for next year, there is some other repairs that we wanna do, but they're
They'll
gonna
be ongoing, yes.
They'll be ongoing, they'll be more costly, so I'd like to see if we can get any funds or grants or something, because there would be a matter of, like, tilting walls or moving walls and things like that, and going behind where the plumbing and electrical and all that is, and breaking through those sections and recoating that. So I'd like to see if there's any funds available for those types of repairs. They would require a different level of notification this is more maintenance and upgrades.
Yes.
The other one would be, and we need to send a letter to the jail commission, so they can review plans. They would require plans and specs. This one, we just had specs. We provided a spec package, and that's what we get.
Do we have a time frame or a timeline for the constructors to finish the work?
We did give them a timeline for them to finish the work, and same as we did the last time. Last time we had given them 30 days on the 7 cells. We gave them the same for the 6 cells, but if we add the additional, well, then it would just increment by the amount of cells.
So they'll just move like the inmates from one cell to the other so they can get fixed and then put them back?
Exactly. That's what they do. They'll take all the inmates from that one, put them in a different wing, and then they'll work that wing. That wing gets completed, gets approved, they all get moved back in, and then they'll work the other sections. They've coordinated that very well in the past there with the.
And the second bidder, Mr. Gonzalez, the amount?
The last bidder, French Construction, was at 192,582.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
192.
192,582.
Okay, so not to put you on the spot, Mr. Campos, but your bid of 107,250, are you willing to keep that the same and we throw in that extra sale that just popped up at the last minute?
Yes, I will leave it the same.
Judge, I'll make a motion that we award the bid to Campos Construction for the 107,250.
I'll second that.
And Mr. Campos graciously accepted to fix that last sale that just came up at the end of the week.
Mr. Campos has been doing a lot of work. I know Mr. Campos, the congressman, was very happy with the work that you've been doing on those houses. So, thank you for doing that for the county, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
And we have the same relationship at the district. I know that they bid for something, and then when they're there, hey, we need this other stuff, and they do.
They take the cost over it.
We appreciate it, Mr. Campos, we appreciate the partnership.
Very well, so I got a motion by Commissioner Mendoza to award the 26 cells, is that correct?
27 cells.
27 cells to Campos Construction for $107,250, seconded by Commissioner Solis.
Mr. Gonzalez, quick question, Texas and what were the documents that they were lacking?
I'll tell you right now.
Just for public knowledge.
Yes.
It was the
Notary.
notary public.
It was the, I have it right here, we said those others. They're missing the, notary page, they were missing the, which is this one right here, and this one. They're missing this one, which is notary page, and then they were missing their insurance, which I'm sure they have insurance as well, and then these also on the back, where it shows the contractors, basically it's their bid total, and then their similar type of project that they've completed. I've spoken to the gentleman, they do similar type of work, but this is how you submit it, where you put in what work you've been doing, what materials you have available, what personnel, what have you completed, and then here's another, this one as well. This is
Every contractor got the same bid package, so.
Yes.
I mean, they.
Everyone got the same bid packet, and two of them submitted it exactly how we requested it. And so I'll talk to him about, because they're interested in continuing to bid for county work, and I'll let them know this is what's,
Especially on the insurance, I know we had that issue, probably a couple of commissioners recorded back.
Correct.
With the company, they had to get the insurance, so that's very important to get it.
There's a copy of the insurance as well for that's needed. And this is the copy of the addendum that we submitted, and then they acknowledge that, they have to acknowledge that they received it because we made changes.
Correct.
So then, this is what we want you to bid on, not the original, and if they don't acknowledge it, that means it's
Incomplete.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner.
Motion and a second, and I know this is a big expense that wasn't budgeted either, so this is coming from our fund balance also, but.
More gray hairs for Mr. Gonzalez over there.
Well, it's, these are, actually,
For the
but,
county?
I mean, I think.
They're needed, and we need a judge to pass jail inspections and all that, so.
Yeah, because the jail, brings in significant amount of
Yes.
revenue. to the
Yes.
county.
It is important that we get it done, so.
It is a revenue stream.
Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Campos, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Campos.
Item number 24 is to review the status of the San Ignacio water plant.
I was concerned that those back right now.
The next
You've
two
got
are-
two more.
Okay. So then, okay, good. On the
Yeah,
San
three
Ignacio,
more.
okay, the San Ignacio water plant, Judge and Commissioners, on that one, we had a pre-construction meeting last week. Judge attended the meeting, and we met with the contract administrator and the contractor, gave them a notice to proceed. They started the construction today. They have until December to finish all their work. They're providing us a schedule of work to be completed from here to then, where it's basically ordering the pumps, ordering the tanks, the materials for the filters, and then begin removing the media out of the filters and rehabilitating the clarifier that's on the west side of the plant. Those are his duties that he's gonna start with for this coming month. And when the parts come in for the control system, which we have a very old control system that's gonna be replaced, then those will be installed. He did provide us all the bonding and insurance that was required, and they've been given a notice to proceed on that. I had an invoice on this project on our end for some time. I think the last invoice we had submitted was in March 25th for $20,000, which was the surveying services only. And then we've now completed the plans and specifications, which we used to bid out. That was another 20% of the project. And then the completion of the bid advertisement and the contract award, that's been completed as well. So we're gonna be invoicing for that as well. So the previous invoice was for 20, and this invoice for this Commissioners Court meeting is 50. So that's what we have from our part at this point.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, so are we,
We'll wait till
Mr.
we get
Gonzalez?
reimbursed. Yeah, like we'll submit it, then Mr. Gonzalez
We'll hold
or
on to the
Roxy will submit it through Mr. Esser to get your funds, once your funds come in.
Okay, so we'll do the same process?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Motion to approve, Judge, payment of $50,000 to Premier Engineer.
Sending.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have a
And,
date of completion for this one or not?
Yes, it's December, I think it was December 15th.
That'd be the final.
Yes.
So TDA, of course, is, I guess they follow their rule structure, very well. We are late on our audit.
It's gonna take a little while to get the funds, until it's.
So, Commissioners, we may have to, and we don't know how much money the county has, if we want these projects to move forward, especially with the contractors. I know, on the next project.
It's the next one.
Yes, he's been waiting for payment for 2 months now.
At least, yes.
And certainly, if TDA holds to their, process of not funding until our audit is in place, we may have to pre-fund these, projects, from a very limited fund balance or.
Do we have a timeline, Judge, on when the audit is gonna be done?
And it was last week.
You know,
We,
it seems right
Happens
now
every year.
that it'll probably be mid-September is what
Which
we're
is,
looking at.
For these.
in September, I
I
thought
told
they
them-
had assured us the end of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, I've been
I
telling
went by that.
Mr. Gonzalez, having these comments, he told the court, July, and it didn't happen.
Yep.
But September is not acceptable, it has to be.
And I'll get back with
within a
them.
week.
I can only give you all the information that's given to me, so
Well,
I'll put up, I've had conversations with the judge about
they
trying
turned
to.
in Jim Hog's audit on time.
Yes.
It's the same firm.
Right.
Well, the problem is, we're not turning in our information on time,
So,
that's the difference.
and.
But the independent auditors, we can't blame them, it's our own doing.
Well, when you say we judge,
The department heads.
department heads?
Yes, we're not reconciling on a monthly basis. We hired an outside consultant to basically do that for us. I guess he's not here often enough. We tried to, bring in additional consultants to help us. It seems to be, expediting the process a little more, but a lot of it is the departments, those especially that handle grants. They don't provide, information on time. We've seen it here in court. They don't bring in any updates to the court. They don't pay their ask for reimbursements. All of that contributes to the final audit for each year. We had a department here come in here last month or so that, finally wanted payment or reimbursement for a whole year's worth of grant payments that we had paid, Operation Stone Garden. Took them, we approved a reimbursement for year 2022. And so it's like a virus that is infecting our employees, our departments, that we're just not getting after it and doing the work that is required of us. All of us have a responsibility to if that's what you do it on a daily basis, do it on
I think we gotta hold these, departments accountable, we can't suffer as a county, because of a certain.
So I think all our, grants are in peril right now, including Operation Lone Star. Of course, TDA, they're not gonna send any reimbursements to us. Parks and Wildlife could be, so they're all gonna be impacted. And then, I'm sure you have colorful conversations with the auditor and say, well, maybe mid-September, that's not acceptable, we need to get it now.
And I get calls from all of these vendors also.
Well, the problem is, are they here today, working on it? No.
No.
See, that's the problem, there's no urgency.
There's no consistency.
Yeah.
When.
And it's not like we don't pay them, enough money to do it.
And there are things in place right now that I've been working on to expedite the audits, in the future, I guess, which is not helping us right now, right? But,
Hopefully next year.
yeah, so.
Well, it's been
We
hopefully
need
next
it by
year.
mid-August,
Okay.
mid-September is not
Yeah,
acceptable.
not
We need
acceptable.
to be on the call, on a daily basis with the
With the
consultants,
department
with
head.
all three of them, we've got three of them working on it.
Okay.
And then
And
with our
that's part of
departments.
it, that, it used to be one guy now.
Okay, let me ask this, and I'm not sure if you know or not, but do they have all the paperwork that they need to
No.
complete?
No.
They
Absolutely
still don't
not.
have it.
We've been getting them, what we can, just to get ahead of the ball a little bit, but they're still,
Well, we've never been ahead of the ball. We're
Right.
way behind the ball.
Do we know, like, do we have a list of what we still need pending? that
Or
we
from
have
what
not submitted?
department?
Well, it's mostly getting the financials together. That's pretty much what it is.
Like the
Putting all the financials
reconciling
together.
on our end here.
The
So
yeah, putting the financials together.
For the 24.
So the consultants aren't coming.
Calendar year, what would you recommend, just like we did right now for the auction?
Well, for
We
that,
have some
the
procedures
things we
place
put
that
in place.
You're gonna have to come in percent quarterly?
No, well, we could, we will be able to do that.
'Cause if that's what it's gonna take to get everything.
For the 24 audit, which I say it's not helping us for the 23 audit, it should be, that one should be done by February, March. Just from, it's not helping us right now for this one.
Consultants, Commissioner, to help us. We've had a consultant for many, many years helping us do the work that basically our department should be able to do. Which the financials, basically our treasurer and the auditor should be handling that. We're not able to do it on our own, so we bring in consultants. Now, is it a fact that should we hire a local accountant to put on staff, or do we bring in outside accountants? We decided to go with outside accountants, but we're still not getting it done. I mean, we're late every year. And so now TDAs, they said, you can ask all the money, all the reimbursements you want. We're not gonna send you any money until your audit's in place by July the 1st. We missed it. So
Yeah,
there are no.
September is not acceptable. I mean, that's a slap in the face right there.
Okay.
But
There's no urgency, nobody's here today, so.
If we already know what documents we need, then who's putting pressure on those individuals to submit that documentation?
Well, I'm putting pressure on the auditor who should be responsible for making it happen.
And then I put pressure on them.
And Mr. Auditor's doesn't seem to have a sense of urgency.
I do have a sense of urgency, it's just that I can only do so much, Judge, you know?
Well, you should be able to learn the process a little better, maybe the other stuff you should be doing on your own. Instead of hiring consultants, which don't show up. They're not here. Nobody's here. There's no urgency. I would be calling them I've been telling, I know this was the deadline was July 1st, and it was coming, and we brought it to the court, and he said, yeah, we'll have it by July 1st. Well, now it's September.
Which is what I was told.
And then in September, it might be November. And during the meantime, we've got all these projects that we don't have money to pay. Do we stop and say, well, sorry, we don't have our audit. Can you hold off on these departments? They all got deadlines. We made like the contractor made an obligation to finish by a certain date. Well, we made an obligation to pay them.
And it affects our loan also, so that we wanna go out for.
Do we have a dollar amount, Mr. Gonzalez?
Well, we're looking at $2 million. We got two,
Okay.
with the two projects.
And we don't have that in the bank to cover that, I doubt.
No.
To upfront that money.
We got about 2 million right now to finish
So
up.
going back to the question, what can we do we gotta correct this, and we gotta correct it now?
I'm trying to correct it as we're, right now, but it's not gonna be corrected for the 23 one. I mean, the 23 one is late. There's nothing I can do about that except
Well, you can
push
do
to
it,
get
you can do
it
it
done.
before, you can be a little bit more persistent on, I have to call you and say, every time I call you, say, oh yeah, let me give them a call. You should be on it every
I'm getting
day.
conversations with them, I'm putting
Well,
things in
conversations
place.
are not good enough when we're not getting it done. I think you need to have a little bit more energy in how you converse with them. Well, anyway, that's where we're at. So eventually, I think we're gonna have to, I know the engineer that's been doing all this work, he wants to get paid. So, I guess by next, first meeting in August, we'll bring invoices and we're gonna have to pay them and see how far we go. Or do we just, stop these projects altogether? And then, we'll certainly be in violation with TDA. I don't think we'll certainly be on their blacklist as far as.
Judge, would we be able, and I'm just kind of brainstorming here, I mean, is it possible for us to get a local short-term loan just to be able to cover these,
They need audits.
They need audits. That's.
Back to the audience.
Well, I'm talking about maybe a local loan with maybe Zapata
We
National
can't,
Bank.
we can't
can't
do
do
those
that.
anymore.
You can't do that.
We have to go to the voters to say, we need a
To do a
short-term loan.
certificate of obligation
We
or
can't-
something of that sort.
Which they
Finish
need
our
audits
books.
also.
Well,
Okay,
we're
Mr.
in a
Gonzalez,
bad,
sorry, but the,
we're in a bad
I think the
situation.
commissioners, the commissioners need to know exactly where we're at. We've got contractors that we've obligated ourselves to for their project. We're gonna have to pay them.
Yeah, we have to pay them. We can't park the projects. I mean, So how much for this specific project, how much are we looking at?
On the project we're talking about now, Commissioner, because we were on the San Ignacio water plant.
You're talking
They
about
just
the
started.
They just
today.
started,
So,
but-
so we'll get an invoice next month.
I know the paving
But
one
the
we've had.
contractor said he was gonna submit an invoice for $250,000
Yes.
for all the equipment and material he's gonna have to purchase.
Yeah.
So we'll be $300,000 in, first meeting
on-
next month.
On next month, yes, on this one. So,
It'll be 320 because it was a 20 that we already paid and a 50.
we haven't paid 20.
Oh, so
Wait.
it'll be 320.
320. That's how much we'll be in.
Right?
And
It's,
on this one,
250 and
we're,
7.
we'll
Oh, yeah.
we'll move on to the 25, so we've approved, the payment, and,
Yeah.
we'll hold off and see if we can,
Sure.
miracles do happen, so.
Who did the motion on 24?
So,
Solis Morales.
Oh,
all those in favor say aye.
aye.
Moving on to 25, to review the status of the Northwest Booster Station. So this.
This is the one we're talking about, Judge
Yes.
and Commissioner. So on this one, we had started construction on April 29th, and we submitted, they did some work from that date until our first meeting in May. They submitted their first invoice on May 10th, and that one was for $57,000. And, it covered the site clearing and grubbing, which was for $35,000. It covered the wet connections, the 6x6 wet connections, there was 2 of them for $8,000. 6x6 tees, there was 2 of them for $6,000. And 6-inch gate valves, there was 3 of them for $11,000. Those were the items that were covered on that particular invoice. Then the following meeting in, June, June 7th, they submitted the following invoice for $72,925.12, and that one covered the 6-inch 90-degree bends for $1,214.28. They covered partial of the ground storage tank, because they set the foundation in the ring,
129.
and a partial of the foundation for the booster pump for $41,100. It was a total of $72,925.12. They haven't submitted another invoice, but I do know that they've already submitted on item 1 and 2, submitted for the tanks, to order the tanks. They spent $118,000. I needed their invoices so I could present them here for invoice 3, but I didn't have them. But I know that they did request the hydromatic tank. They ordered it, and the 94,000 gallon ground storage tank, they ordered that as well. So I told them to give me the invoices of what they paid for the deposits, and then I could present them as.
How much was that, 118?
So as of right now, we're at 139?
As of
One-
right now, you're at
129. 129.
129 plus the 118?
129,925.12. That's what we have right now.
And
And
then
then
the
the-
118, that's.
Well,
coming-
that one I don't have it yet,
Right,
but
but
that's
it'll-
gonna come next month.
The
It'll be
129, Commissioners,
129.
925.
Right.
those 2 have been submitted to TDA, but they're on hold,
Yeah.
so.
We'd like to request that those 2 could be considered to be paid, at this point, so that he can have some funds. I know he's gone to the bank to get additional loan.
Temporary funding,
But to
yeah.
continue working, and, he doesn't wanna stop, cause we, like the judge said, we did commit him to a deadline. He has to finish by December 25th. And so I told him, you order the tanks now, they're gonna come in 20 weeks, so they have to be ordered, you can't wait until you get paid.
The longer we prolong it, the longer it's gonna take the tanks to
Yeah,
get here,
so
the
if-
domino effect there.
If we can approve 1 and 2, which are the ones for May and June, and then the one for July, I'll present it.
May and June is how much, 129?
129,
129,925.12.
12 cents.
Does I make a motion that we approve those 2 invoices for $129,925.12, and we're gonna have to get creative on where we're gonna pull the money out from?
Is it 925, Mr. Gonzalez, or
925?
975?
No, 925.
925.
with 12 cents.
Okay, motion by Commissioner
second the
Mendoza,
motion.
seconded by Commissioner Solis. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, we appreciate your patience.
Item number 26, well, that might concern you, Mr. Gonzalez, to approve reimbursement request for TxDOT County Transportation Infrastructure Fund in the amount of $188,673 for Ramirez, Miraflores, Pelican, and Second Street. We've already paid all these monies out, now we're asking for reimbursement, but it's gonna be on hold too, I'm pretty sure, TxDOT.
On TxDOT, I did speak to the engineer, and he came to Zapata, and this is his job site. I had sent him some photos of the project being completed. He just came to verify that the work was complete. Yeah, the work.
We're hopeful that not all agencies will be as determined or tell.
I think they'll send us the funds because they're not, this grant was not the same as a TDA grant where I don't know, he hasn't requested any audits or anything like that from us.
Okay.
On that.
I'll make a motion to approve the reimbursement request.
Motion by Commissioner Solis, seconded by Commissioner Morales, and hopefully we get that money back. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gonzalez.
Mr. Gonzalez.
27, to approve distribution of monies allocated from wind turbine contributions for the Zapata County Fair Livestock Project. Commissioners, the court allocated $50,000, for those projects. I think the fair produced those,
Yeah,
invoices.
there's two long lists there, Judge,
Yeah,
on
with
the
all the kids.
sponsor recipients, so I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Motion by Commissioner Mendoza.
Second.
By Commissioner Gatsa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We got, resolution and proclamation to approve a resolution authorizing an application for the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department for indoor recreation funding for the conversion and adapted reuse of a pavilion for the Boys and Girls Club.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Motion approved by Commissioner,
Mendoza.
Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis. Is there, would you like us to read the resolution, Mr. Conrad?
I don't think it's necessary.
It's not necessary, okay.
Thank you so much for approving.
Yes, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn, Judge.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Mendoza, seconded by Commissioner Solis.
Thank you.